Vonda, you missed it. You should have seen what I did to Ellie just a minute ago. I was like,
Yeah, she didn't have it. She was just trying to make us all
I don't
jealous.
even have it. I would just be mean.
I think you missed. Did you miss that Slack message, Vonda?
I did. Mhm.
Oh, I went to the garage. I swore there was one mini Diet Coke there left, and I was singing a song as I went there to get it. It's not there.
Diet Coke. She was,
Did you give
I
up?
bet Vonda drank it.
It wasn't me. I don't know. Who would have done that, Ellie? That was a mean trick, though.
Yeah.
I love how when our razzle dazzle girls come in, they sign in Caroline, Clara, and Marcella. We're all there together.
Love it.
I never know which one is emailing me because they're.
I don't either.
I know I always say, hello, ladies.
Yes, me too. Or hi, gals.
Love it.
All right, people are coming. Ellie, you and Vonda, or especially you, are kind of having internet issues, right?
Yeah. Vonda should be okay. I could be spotty, so if I go out or just tell me to say something again if I need to repeat myself. But
All right.
Same here.
hoping for the
Okay.
best.
And I will also, if it's a funny face, I'll take a picture.
Thanks, Lori. That's really nice of you.
I know. It's what friends do. It's what, just like Cammy and the Diet Coke. It's what they do.
And I think Audrey has some flowers behind her, so you could design if.
Oh,
something
you
happens.
did. There you go.
Nice.
Just give us a
Take
demo.
it out,
okay?
put it back together.
Exactly. We'll figure out something. So, okay, guys, it's, let's see, 3 minutes after. We have quite a few people here. We are in recording mode. I think we just go ahead and get started.
Let's do it.
All right. So here we are wondering what is next, right? And I think, did you guys already go around and introduce yourselves? Maybe before we start this, let me quit sharing my screen a minute. And I think that's what we want to do first off, is introduce ourselves, because there's some people in here, obviously, who are clickers, and they're here joining us. But there are many of you who might not know us. My name is Vonda Lefevre. I'm the founder of FlowerClick. I've been in the business, I hate to say it, but over 45 years. And I love what we do. And we are passionate about helping people succeed in their business.
I'll go next. I'll
Okay.
go next. I'm Ellie Lefevre. I'm creative director at FlowerClick, which is just a fancy title for anything images, e-commerce, photography, branding, making you guys look good.
Yep. Since I'm on top of you for my screen here, I'll go next. I'll go next. I'm Lori Wilson, and I am the director of community for FlowerClick. So I just get the luxury of talking with a lot of our members and people that aren't members all day long.
I'll go. I'm Cammy Martin. I'm the director of OneClick, and that is basically taking care of the websites. So that's my job.
She's the magic maker.
Yeah, the magic maker. You guys have been saying that to other people because someone said
Yeah,
that.
we
to
have.
me. I'll take it. I'll let you say that.
I say that all the time about you. I'll go next. I'm Katie Miller, and I joined FlowerClick after retiring from 40-year career at a floral wholesaler grower. And my FlowerClick responsibilities are talking to and finding and meeting new potential members. So big shout out to all those not yet members that are on today. You know who you are.
And I'm Audrey Christoph. I am the product manager for FlowerClick, which encompasses the farm to flower shop exclusive bouquets for the FlowerClick members, and also our celebration of life guides and a couple other little side
A lot
tasks.
of other things.
Other things we shift to. So
Right.
Yes.
everybody does a lot of things here, that's for sure.
That's
All right. Well, thank you for that, ladies. So now we'll get on to what they're kind of waiting for. And this is always the question is, what is next? Because what we're hearing is that summer sales a little slower right now. And chime in, ladies, because you have these conversations often that, it's like, it seems like a little slower right now.
A little slower. I've had a lot of shops taking an actual vacation. Talked to a lot of owners that are actually taking advantage of the slower time, but yeah, it's kind of moment to breathe for once in 2 years.
Yeah.
Right. And I think
We've had some people, some of our members chat in our members only group, saying, does everybody else feel slow? And I think a big part of it is because we haven't had an opportunity to be slow, right? And so maybe we're going back to pre-COVID summer. I don't know, but hopefully Vonda will be able to help us.
Mhm.
Yeah, and the other thing that I just wanted to say about it is, on one hand, people are having more weddings and events and things like that, making up for lost times, but they're also traveling this summer and visiting family and doing things that, maybe flowers aren't top of mind for them, or they're out of town for weeks. So all these factors really make a difference.
And I think it brings us back to what I'm saying here. It's kind of the normal sales cycle that we had pre-COVID. You guys were mentioning that because that's really, I think, what we're experiencing. And as soon as we have the conversation with somebody who says, oh my gosh, it's a little slow, I think summer's here, then the next week they're back up again. So it's a cyclical business. And we were talking to a wholesaler this morning, and they were just saying that July was very slow for them, but man, it's just like kicking back in. So, let's look at that and see, we know that history repeats itself. We're looking at things like people using chicken wire again. Now, so those are design elements because of the chicken wire. And this pot that some of you who are on here will remember, not Katie will, Hager pottery, white pottery that we used to design in, and we used the chicken wire to go in there so we could design something in here because floral foam wasn't there. So those are things that we're like, history's repeating itself, design elements. They're creating new design elements, mimicking the chicken wire or other products that we can use to do the same thing. We did designing in water. We didn't use any other elements. So everything's cyclical and coming back to that, history repeating itself in a sense. And so we look at those things and we go, okay, all right, we know that's happening. But in the way that we don't really want to talk about is that of which is a recession. The big R word has been cycled. People are talking about it and then they don't want to talk about it. And inflation, all of those words that scare us, quite honestly. But what we need to do is go back in history where it did repeat itself, right? We had a recession 73 to 75. Then again, in 80, a short one, 81 to 82. As you can see on my screen, it repeats itself. And I want to see a show of hands or chat in, guys, if you were in business in 2008, 2009, that's what they're calling the Great Recession. Anybody there?
At the bottom of the screen, there will be a
Yeah.
raised hand icon.
We've got quite a few raising their hand, Vonda. Quite a
Okay.
few.
Yep, I see it. I see the number climbing.
Yep.
What you learned, those like almost 30 of you on this call have went through the Great Recession. What you learned at that time helped you get through the pandemic, right? It's one of those things that, all right, we made it through that. We can make it through about anything. And so we love that we know that. Here, Lori, you just saw this just yesterday.
Yeah, it was really crazy. I knew what you were going to really be focusing on today. And I was on LinkedIn, which I'm never on, but I was on yesterday. And Sahid Naham, he does a podcast, TV show, the Bloom Show.
New Bloom Solutions.
New Bloom Solutions.
The Bloom Show and New Bloom Solutions. So he posted this and, said, this is really fascinating because if you read there, this is in 2001, it says flower industry profits sink as fuel costs rise. He's like, wow, history is literally repeating itself.
Which is really interesting because as we discussed this before earlier this morning is in 2001, I mean, we were in business, we were offering free delivery. And I think that was kind of a thing back then, is to offer free delivery. So when you're not being able to charge for delivery and your fuel costs go up, you know you're losing money every single time something goes out the door. So I think that's one thing we have to really realize is, okay, as the fuel costs are going up, we need to make sure that we are increasing our delivery charges. That was just a little side note. So, but I recently said it on a webinar from some great economic minds, because I wanted to see, okay, what is going on? And one was Dr. Ben Bernake, and he is the former chair of the Federal Reserve. So you probably heard that name. So he's had a lot of experience in this. And Jurian Timmer, who's from Fidelity Investments. And they were talking about the cyclical manner of recession. So what was going on in inflation. And they felt that some people feel like there will be a recession at the end of 2022. Others, like the Wells Fargo Bank, is saying it's going to be in 2023. So there were all these predictions and numbers being thrown around. But one thing that they totally agreed on is that in 2020, we did have a short recession, strong recovery in 2021, and now there's been a rapid slowdown. What this is saying is that the cycle is changing. It's shorter and it's more exaggerated. What I think when I look at this is 2020, yeah, we had a few months in the floral industry that were slow, but think back to your 2020. Was it slow? I don't think so. I think that there's very few people on this call who had a slow ending to 2020. And then 2021, again, people could hardly keep up. So if you're experiencing some type of a slowdown, that's what they're expecting. But look at your numbers from 2019 and see if it's comparable to those, because that's what we're seeing on FlowerClick websites is that, okay, let's go back a couple years before all this hit and see where you were. So I want you to just, find a little bit of peace in that, because it's okay. And so what we really learned that is, even in the lean years, that florists don't suffer too badly. People are going to continue to buy flowers for special events. They feel obligated a lot of times, like the Valentine's Day, Mother's Day type of thing. But they also know that people feel better when they have flowers. I mean, look at you, each and every one of us, we know how flowers affect us. So I think that should give you a little bit of understanding. Well, not that we're totally recession proof, but many areas of the country are. And I want to share this with you because when I was in Ames, Iowa, which is where I started and worked for many years, I worked 14 years there, and we didn't really feel the recession there. And many of you are in communities much like that, because you are in a place that has a college town, which we had. You have something like a Department of Transportation, which is a steady job, and factories that are in need during times like this. So there's certain things in communities that make you recession proof. Now, if you're in another community, a smaller community, or you don't have the luxury of those items or those things in your community, I just encourage you to take a really close look at the numbers that you're experiencing. You have pivoted so much. If you were in 08 and 09, even if you just came through this pandemic, you have pivoted and made changes that have made you successful during this time. I want you to remember that, because it doesn't matter if you go down and up, as long as you can fluctuate your business with the numbers that are coming in, you're going to be fine. You're going to succeed. You're going to excel in what you're doing. So we want to get into just a few of those things right now, which will help you in this situation. The key truly is preparation, controlling your costs, work smarter, not harder, and find your niche. So let's look at those. First, I want to say control your costs, because I know that your costs are going up. Flower costs, I mean, we're seeing them in our farm to shop. We're seeing them everywhere. And I know when every invoice comes in, you're looking at that going, wow. I just went to the grocery store yesterday. I said to Ellie, oh my gosh, what did I buy? You know, it was almost $200 and I had 3 little bags. So everybody's feeling that. It's not, the grocery store can't keep their prices, their strawberries at $3 because I'm only used to paying that, right? So we have to do the same with our flowers. When those flowers come in at a higher price, you need to increase those prices. As much as you think, oh, my customers aren't going to pay for it. They will. They're knowing that everything is changing. So we need to make sure you're adjusting your prices. Look at your wholesaler or your supplier and see if they have specials and take advantage of those. Because if you have something that you have a set price, you know that you'll be able to take your markup, your usual markup in your store, which we usually suggest a 3.5 times on fresh flowers, and sell those at the appropriate price. And then again, sell what you have what you sell. And that's something that Cammie says all the time. We all kind of chant that because you need to not say, oh yeah, I can get that. I can get that. Try first to sell what you have in your store. Ellie, you want to talk about on the second line here?
Yeah, I think, you're very passionate about the assembly line design and bulk designing and all these productivity hacks. So when it gets into, your employee labor shortage, that's what you want to take a good look at. Can you make sure that you have easy to duplicate designs on your website that aren't all just super fancy and take you an hour to do? Can you speed up that process? And then the most passionate thing, or the thing that I'm most passionate about, is really maximizing the skills of the employees that you do have. So if you're in need of another person in your store, look at what you have, try to see if you can promote from within. Those people know you, they trust you, they're loyal. Can they do more? Can you give them more responsibility? And in our opinion, I think it's a win-win there. So just things to think about and look at.
Absolutely. And then when you say maximize the skills of the employees you do have, you're also talking about making them more productive. So I think it kind of like circles around. I love that. And so kind of playing into both of those is the number of flowers that you're having, and the employee shortage is limit the amount of inventory you're actually making available to your customer. When your customer is looking for a flower shop in your area, first thing they do, we know 70 to 80% first go on your website. So we look at that and we go, okay, if I only have a limited number of products on my website, that's what they're going to select from. Makes it easier for them to choose too, right? I mean, you hear us say this all the time. But you can look at this screen and say, boy, I can see sunflowers, I can see yellows, I can see all these different pops of color. So there's a good selection. But you as a designer who's looking on this knows there's not too many selections. Do the same thing in your cooler. So we tend to go, oh, well, I have this on my website, then I can have other flowers in my cooler. My question to you is why? Why would you need to have other flowers in your cooler? Because your customer is going to purchase what you have on your website. You can design them a little different, but use the same flowers in the store at all times. It's simplified inventory. It makes it easier for you, your designers, helps control your costs, and it controls your employees, how they're designing. So it's just a win-win to do that. Right now is time to prepare for fall. We just turned websites over to fall this week. Did we not, Cammie?
We're still kind of in the process.
Okay, right. Just started on Monday, right? And just to move things around. So within the next couple of weeks, we just suggest that everybody has fall, even though it doesn't feel like fall outside, right? I know Katie was talking how it was just a beautiful day and it was warm and sunny, even up in Pennsylvania. So we need to all be mindful of, even though it's not outside fall, we need to put that into mind because the season is coming. So I want to talk a little bit about pricing of flowers, because I think this is really tough for people, because you have in your mind what some people, my friend Marie Ackerman used to call LLP, looks like pricing. It's like, well, this looks like, right? So what I want you to do is each one of you take out a little piece of paper or figure it in your head real quickly, what you would charge for this arrangement. It has 3 free spirit roses, 3 Myra roses, which are a type of a garden rose. Some people substitute heart roses for those. 3 stems of Matsumoto asters, 2 stems of Cocoleus, and 3 stems of the gunai or parvifolia, 1 stem of seeded yew.
Do you want them to send it in
Yeah,
chat?
put it in. Yeah, let's watch for chat. Just put it in. You know, do what you think. So we have 6 roses.
Are we
They-
asking to do suggested retail price?
Suggested retail price. Thank you. Suggested retail. This one is usually all over the place, and that's okay. What's important is that you guys are participating. Just throw something in there. We're not going to tell whose name it is, okay? So don't read their names. Just give us the numbers. Anything coming in?
85.
85. Okay. You got it?
Someone said 62.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And I do know there's some fluctuation on this because you guys are paying different amounts for your roses. But
Right.
I think this kind of plays to where sometimes we think that our customers are going to pay the price that they need to. So we have any other prices?
We've got $80. We've got $94.95. We've got 95. We've got 79. We've got 125. We've got $69.95. $79.
By the way,
70.
most
70.
people are entering it through the Q&A.
65.
because-
Yeah, chat has been disabled or something. I'm
Sorry.
75, 95, 89, 69, 120. Oh, that's one of our clickers. 68.
It's like it's the price is right. $1, $1.
Yeah,
Someone's
yeah.
The container.
So yeah, anywhere from 62 on up, you're getting.
Okay. What's
Vonda.
interesting,
How much was the container? Are we
much-
asking that?
it's a 5-inch cylinder container. So whatever your price is.
Okay.
But what is really interesting is if you as a floral designer, a florist, can't look at that and say it should be this amount of money, then how is your consumer going to say, oh, well, the perceived value is this? There really isn't a perceived value. It is in the eye of the person who's looking at the design. And when I show you now what that design cost is, $97.67. Now that's the Matsumoto's at $4 a stem. You can see our prices. The Myra $7.50. Now for a while they were up and I would have to do $9.50, but they've come back down. Roses $4.25 for your free spirit. Somebody told me the other day they're having to charge $5. The Cocoleus at $3 a stem. Seeded yew and parvifolia, so those mixed together, you have $7.50 in that. Your container $12.50. Some people say they can't even sell them at $12.50 now; they need to be $15. So when I look at that and somebody's selling that even at $79, we really have to reevaluate what we're selling things for to make sure that we're getting our proper markup. Here, this is a 25% labor. Now, just recently, I think it was Tim Farrell was telling me they've gone to 30% labor on everything in their store because of, as you guys know, minimum wage has gone up. Some designers at minimum wage are $12 to $15. So depending on productivity, you have to watch that as well. So that being said, just with the increase of prices, we have to make sure that we're getting your fair share while still giving good perceived value to your customer. And I'm the first to tell you, I know it's a balance. It's a balancing act to try to get those two to marry. Here is a bouquet number 2. This is the sunflower bouquet. Now, this one, as you can see, is like at $69. This is and on the screen, I have a leaf wrap in here, which this one doesn't. And this is a little taller base. But that being said, you can see because of the height, it has maybe a higher perceived value because of that. And this, again, this one, as well as the one before, are actually pre-made bouquets, which means I'm totally controlling the cost of what's going on. So when I have a bouquet that's, if I can get it out of here, I'll grab one down here. That's already put together, I know that my designer's not going to stuff this design because they can't. This is all the flowers they have. Many of you don't want to use pre-made bouquets, and I get that. I understand that because it was one of those things, well, sometimes at holidays we do. Okay, if you don't want to do a pre-made bouquet, which is what FlowerClick is all about, right? Have somebody, a lower paid employee, maybe you have somebody come in after school and take these full bunches of flowers, sort them out and make those bouquets, because then when your designers are at the table, they can whip these designs out without having to count all the flowers. So Abby Chip, who's one of our clickers, she has this done oftentimes. Is it's like, hey, let's just sort everything out, get everything ready for the bouquets. But as you can see, when we have problems or challenges with the number of employees we can get, this is a fantastic solution, controlling costs and helping save time.
And I
Question?
would say if you have to stay late and do it yourself, you know, it might be worth it, right?
Definitely,
Vonda,
because
are you getting ready to design?
I am.
Okay, can I stop your screen sharing so you can go big?
Thank
We
you.
we need big Vonda.
Yep.
I don't want to be big Vonda.
Big Vonda, big.
Big Vonda. That doesn't sound good. So the one thing we're going to do on this is we're going to use the aspidistra wrap. It's just a ribbon that we're going to use in the vase. And one little trick, make sure that you have enough. So you're just wrapping it around the vase, cutting. And once you do that, I'm going to suggest you turn it inside out, because then it will stick to the vase more so. So instead of keeping it that same roll, go this way, and then it's pushing out against the vase to stay in easier. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and add our water. It's one of my favorite vases. Have you ever had the gurgle vase, guys? It's just the cutest. Anyway, and then we're going to, on this one, mix the two. We do something called a fusion. So we have this bouquet that we're going to add in some of the sunflowers from the sunflower bouquet. So we fuse the two together. Start with a little variegated pit here. And Lori, tell me if you can't see something.
I can't, I'm just laughing at the chats. Heather Town says gurgle, gurgle.
I think she has one, if I remember
I
right.
think she has one. That's
Well,
right.
And two people said, great tip.
tip,
One
yeah.
little tip is a game changer, like that
Right.
leaf.
That one can be, because it does really help it stay
Mhm.
where it needs to be, rather than you're trying to put the water and move it around, juggle everything. So, and also on my cocoleas, I always turn that to 2 pieces, so it gives me a nice framing on here. Of course, you're going to remove the ones that are at the bottom or that's going into the vase. Anything in the water needs to be removed. Okay, so we have a nice vase going on here, and then use our beautiful Free Spirit roses and use those in here. These are fabulous. You just want to smell them too, huh?
Oh, those are gorgeous.
Aren't they? And then before I go any further, we're going to use this flax, my sunflower bouquet, the 6 sunflowers, 2 ruscas, 3 solidago, leather leaf, and then this flax, which is like one of my new faves. But I used to not like flax when it came in. It was, you know, it's always damaged, right? It seems like it comes in and it's like, oh, it's not perfect. I can't make a beautiful structural piece with that. So this flax comes in, bent over and taped down. So I just bring it up and I'm splitting it. So as you can see, we're just splitting tearing it down. It's just random, right? It doesn't have to be anything special. And bringing that down. And now I'm going to take this, bring it to the center, keep it up high, right? Bring it one forward, one back. And them all together there. And now I'm going to take a wire. No, just either a covered wire, just a wire is fine. Tie it off. One escaped.
I could watch Vonda design all
I
day.
know, I,
No, me too.
It's
So
really
we take that.
relaxing.
Yeah, and I usually want to be, because this is going to a customer, you want to make sure you have everything finished off nicely. So now I just take a little bit of floral tape and cover my mechanic. And then you can see it's just a pretty mechanic with like a ribbon. And then you still have this to go into the water, which is going to continue to draw water and last a long time. But you can see it really structurally, it really is creating somewhat of an armature on its own, because now when I put that in there, then we're going to do a second one. Do that fast.
Vonda, you just make it look so effortless. And I know it's not.
It's not for you, Lori.
It is not.
You worry too much. That's it.
I overthink it. Exactly.
It's easy for Audrey. It's pretty easy for Audrey.
Audrey has that gene. She inherited your gene.
She's got that natural talent, that's for sure.
Well, it makes it easy with the bouquets. I've gotten the pre-ordered or the pre-made bouquets, and yes, everything. Sarah asked if everything, the bouquets will come that way. And what Vonda showed, that bunch she showed, that's exactly how it comes from the farm. So it comes with all those flowers in the greens that go in that particular arrangement.
Right.
Yeah, and sometimes we leave a little, obviously, wiggle room in the pricing to make sure that we can add a little bit extra green, like this recipe. I added a little bit of variegated kit. Well,
Right.
we do have that.
Vonda, what are the long flat leaves you're using?
So flax,
Flax.
F-L-A-X, flax.
Got it.
And so you can just have a little fun with those. We're going to put that second one in here. And you can see it adds a lot of.
She loves the little creative things that are fast like that.
Mhm.
If anybody knows me, they know it has to be fast. I love design techniques and what people are doing, but if it can't be done quickly and profitably, you guys, that's that word again, then I just can't do it. I mean, because I know how much time it takes to do some design techniques, or that it's hard to charge the amount of money because our customers don't see that perceived value.
Time is money.
That is
Judy,
right.
Judy, she's another one of our members, and she gets our bundles, and she said that the flax came with the top folded over and taped. So she just split it with her fingernail and retaped it with a twist and the floral tape. It was quick and super easy.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's how it comes, just like this. That's what she's talking about, Judy. You're exactly right. Can you just see, there's the tape.
Yeah.
But the sunflower bouquets, these sunflowers have been gorgeous too.
They
Make sure
are.
they agree. So we're gonna do those. And here. Now I have to look on my recipe and see how many of these I actually get. Then we're adding that pop of that hot pink, the Matsumoto asters. To bring that pop in.
Somebody asked, where do these pre-made bouquets come from?
They're Colombian, they're FlowerClick exclusives that we've created at the farm, and they are from Colombia.
And we put the designs up on the website like this one. This is an example of a design up on the website. Our members can get the pre-made bundles that then match the designs on the website, like what you're talking about.
Right.
One of my favorites, a new favorite for fall right there.
So 3 sunflowers. I'm reading my roses. So we get all these, right? Wow, my gosh, this is gorgeous. 3 of the.
But I want to say, like, the bundles are just, they're a means to an end, right? Of course, we have ours, and the great thing about ours is that they match exactly the products on their website. But
Mhm.
you could get pre-made bouquets and do it yourself. You know, you could select the bouquets and photograph it and price it out and all that stuff. But just save some time.
And I do want to
Definitely.
say too, this particular arrangement that Vonda is making, we call it a fusion in FlowerClick. It's 2 bouquets. So we have one bouquet that has the Myra and the Free Spirit roses, and we have another sunflower bouquet. So that's one of the ways that we can create some variety on our website is we can combine different parts of 2 bouquets and make a whole new design.
Mhm.
Lori
Lori,
Coonian says those roses are huge.
huge.
They
They
are.
are. They're like as big as Vonda's head.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, they
Really.
really are. They're gorgeous roses.
And those Myras, you would think with the garden rose that they're super frail, but they are so sturdy.
Really
Like,
are.
when you feel them, they're great.
They're super gorgeous. Okay, so here we have the fusion. So we've taken the one, but instead of using all 3 of our Matsumoto asters, we've only used one stem of the Matsumoto, and we've made some adjustments. And let's do screen. I just want to make sure you guys can still see that and share the screen. So we used 3 of the sunflowers, the 6 roses, 1 Matsumoto, I used too many Crocolias, and then 1 thing of the eucalyptus. So I would just scale this down a little. Actually, I could get rid of this one because I don't really need it. And then we have about another $99 arrangement. So you have the one that was with everything and more foliage. And then we have one that we just put the pop of yellow in instead. So the key is being able to be really productive. The quick and easy is really important, and pricing things out correctly. I think those are our 2 big points on the designs. Hopefully you can do a couple little techniques that are quick and easy to do as well for your designing. Let's see if I can go back. So the next, Lori, is this.
Oh my gosh, it's already me. I was so sucked
She's
in.
hypnotized.
Isn't watching her though kind of hypnotizing?
It is.
It's like, wow. So finding your niche. Here's the thing. I've talked to so many shops over the last couple of years that are thinking, oh, should I also kind of dive into carrying this product or adding this to my store? And so I've been reading a lot about, from a retail shop perspective, how you find your niche. The obvious is, as Ellie put up here, plants, gift specialty items, weddings, all the things. But the thing you got to do before that is take a look around your neighborhood, take a look around your town, check with your chamber of commerce. If you love Brighton, the brand, check around and see, does anybody else carry it? You don't want to start carrying 5 different types of products that everybody else already carries. Think about, what do you want to be known for? Do you want to be known for, oh my gosh, I want to go to Vonda's flower shop. She has the greatest plants. She always does fun social media. She has the funniest TikToks, and she also has very informative ones on how to clean plants. Like, do you want that to be your niche? Then you got to dive head first into that. And that means not only getting product, but marketing that product. Maybe you love events. Maybe you love baby showers. We have a shop, a FlowerClick member, and I talk about her all the time because I think deep down I kind of want to be her. She is a balloon artist, and I don't mean balloon animals. Like, she makes those really big, cool decor of them. And maybe you only market towards bridal showers or baby showers or children's birthdays, whatever it is. Think your next thing needs to be, how am I going to market that? Again, going back to your mindset of, what do I want to be known for in this town, kind of helps you narrow down that field.
Lori, one person, Christy, she said every time she goes to the Dallas market, to find a new vendor, she asks if they would be exclusive in her zip code, which is a great question.
It really is. And I know there are some brands out there that as they were growing said that, right? And like, I could be totally off. I'm just going to use this as an example, like Tyler candles. I remember way back, I loved Tyler candles. I loved their laundry detergent. And, you know, I could only get it at a certain store in the town. And now, my gosh, I can get it on Amazon, right? And so you have to think, is that really selling for you? It's you've invested all this money, but 5 other stores have it, plus Amazon has it. So it's can seem a little difficult to start thinking about what you love, but actually it's very easy. Just look around, right? Look at what you do every day besides the flowers. What else brings you joy? And figure out how you can make that work for you.
Which brings us to you,
So-
Ellen.
Yeah. So, I mean, the biggest thing, of course, if you guys are super busy right now and you don't want to take on something new, this isn't for you. But if, you know, things are a little bit slower, maybe it is the time to try something new. Maybe you want to start incorporating subscriptions or doing flowers for hotels or a flower happy hour or workshops. So, like Lori said, you just dig deep, think about it. And then the most important thing is setting that goal with action steps on how you actually want to achieve it. So if you go to the next slide, Vonda. So say you want to do a workshop. So you want 20 people to sign up for your workshop. It's going to cost you this amount in the flowers or the wreaths or the plants or whatever for supplies. You know, you want to have a little bit of snacks for your workshop people there. So it's going to cost you this much at the grocery store. If you're having a staff member assist you, you got to factor in their labor. Are you going to do any sort of advertising or print promotion? How much is that going to cost? Or how much is your budget? Do you want to make your budget for that? And then, okay, factor in all that. Okay, this is what I can charge for the workshop and still be profitable. So, you know, there was that quote about hobbies, Lori, that Abby always says, don't make every hobby into
Every hobby is not a business.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, you know, this is where I want you to think deep, and just because you might want to do something, you have to look at the objectives here and if it actually realistically makes sense for you to spend time on it. But then going deeper into how you're going to actually accomplish it. So breaking them down into little steps instead of just like big bullet points. I've always found super helpful when I'm trying to accomplish a project. So creating a graphic on Canva. So you're creating a graphic, you're telling them all about your workshop. Then you're going to post that all over your social. If you want to spend 20 bucks or 50 bucks boosting the post, if you want to send out an email to your customer list, letting them know, you could include like a little printout or a postcard with your deliveries that go out. You could reach out to other local businesses and on social and just send them your post and see if they will reshare it. And then the last thing is just to identify your best customers and tell them about it. Extend the VIP invite to them and ask if they have any friends that want to join. So again, these are just examples of one thing you could do and how to do it. So yeah, that's it.
Well, I know Heather Town is on here who does workshops a lot, and she continues to get them to growing. And also they're selling out. So it's something that's really a great idea. And I love the step-by-step. That really makes a huge difference. It like takes
But
it down.
again, if you don't love teaching, if you don't love
Right.
workshops,
You're not
don't
going to do it
do it.
well.
do a
Right.
workshop.
Don't do it.
The other thing, 2 things. Beth, we will sent in a really good question I want to get to, but the other thing, just like earlier, and I think even later, Vonda was talking about your website, you know, and not having rows and rows and rows and rows of stuff. You don't want so many different products. You look like a souvenir shop, right? Or that just you have too many things. People don't know what you're known for. So pick a couple and test them, right? And give them some time. And if it doesn't work, get rid of those and go to something else. Beth says, when we bought the shop in 2015, that's what we did. We wanted to be different from everyone else. So we brought in things that no one else had. Now, every shop in town has come in, they take photos and start carrying the same products that we do and undercut us. We ask people not to take photos, but they do anyway, or they just get really irate. What can we do? Well, my thought, I go back to, I would be very mindful in what products I'm carrying. One of the first things I would ask that company, like Ellie said, are you exclusive, or do you allow within a 20-mile radius? And if they say no, I'd want to see that in writing before I do anything. Beth, I don't know what the answer is to that, because it sounds like those people, the company, they just are going to sell to anybody and everyone. So I would start looking for something new to sell that nobody else has, but be very mindful about being geo exclusive. And I'm
So
sorry.
the other thing I want to add to that is that Flower Shop actually is Helen Miller. She's up in Michigan, and her whole idea was, when I buy something, I will only reorder it one time. I'll buy it, I'll reorder it once, then I go with a whole new product, because by then whoever's come in and taken the pictures might have it in your store. And I always thought that was really smart. It was just like, she said, you know, I could have gotten another time, I think, but that's when you're usually sitting on your product, or somebody else has duplicated what you already have. So I think that's just really smart.
Yeah. You know, something else that I think is a lot of people are doing now, and I know not everyone has the opportunity, but check with your local community. Like, do you have artists, or do you have pottery people? Like, what local people, and say, hey, would you like me to feature some of this in my store?
Yeah, someone said, Arlene said, I'm teamed up with a brick oven pizza restaurant for wine and design. It's been a
Love
huge
it.
hit. They put a glass of wine into the workshop price. So
Nice.
One of our,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, Ellie. One of our clickers wrote in earlier that she does blooms and brews. She does beer. And I loved that one. Sorry.
That's cute too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the cool thing about when you do that, you have cross promotion, right? So your local pizza place or your local, whatever you partner with, you're sharing this, they're sharing your stuff. So you're getting more customers.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. This was just, I know we've got more chats here that Lori, you can read through as I just talk through these 3 sites for gift items. There's Bulletin, there is Fair, which most of you know about, and there is Abound. And within each of these wholesale websites, there's filters that you can select not on Amazon, which I think is important to always use that. But yeah, just I love looking and browsing, and the key obviously is not to order too much stuff, but you know, if you can find that. I remember, Mom, when we had our flower shop, or your flower shop, wasn't mine.
Sure.
A rep came in, this is in the 90s, and he came in with it was Burt's Bees, and that was Burt's Bees was in any stores, really. It was just like direct to little boutiques. And so we got in on Burt's Bees, and everybody came in for Burt's Bees.
Yeah,
that's very cool.
So vividly.
Wow. Yeah.
Anyway.
Certain things like that for sure.
But again, on the other hand, assess if you're doing too much. Do you have too many gifts? Are you order happy with your seasonal inventory? Are you doing too many events and weddings? Do you have too many employees right now? Do you have too much on your website? Again, this was a tip I found that, you know, just narrowing your business focus on what you're really good at, focus on what you're most productive with. And this is an effective strategy in cutting costs easily. And also, you know, you're creating quality work. You're focused on quality over quantity. Well, I guess it is quantity as well, because you're more productive, but just focusing, like, again, on that niche, and that's creating your loyal customer base that becomes recession proof.
One thing to think about at times like this, when you're like, okay, I don't know what's going on this Christmas, so buy lighter on your inventory. You can always fill in. with any seasonal items. The other thing we often talked about when we were running the business was purchase your gift line that can be incorporated in with a flower sale. So I'm doing, like you said, candles along with flowers, plaques that can go in sympathy work, something that can be incorporated with your flowers or plants, which make it a no-lose situation, because you can always incorporate them, in with the flower sale too, if you don't have, as many people coming in.
Yeah. Audrey, what, she's one of our member, the flower shop that's up close to Lake Erie. What is that brand that she carries? And I mean, you buy stuff when you go up there, because she really is one of the only vendors.
Yes, she has the Lake Girl
Yes.
label. So it's all Lake Girl
Right.
attire, and yeah.
And
I
it's
love
a
hard for
whole
me to
thing. Like,
find.
there's a whole group of people that love any of the new Lake Girl stuff. So she does a really good job in marketing it too.
Mhm.
So
That's great. Ellie, this was you, I think, right?
Sure. Yeah, these are just some obvious tips that,
Mhm.
you can use in your personal life and in your work life. So, when you budget more than ever, start chipping away at your rainy day fund. Don't shop frivolously. Think twice before swiping your card.
Don't show my husband this list.
yeah, exactly.
Can you pack a breakfast or a lunch more often? Can you meal prep so that when you're tired at the end of the day, you have food to eat instead of just doing takeout? And then, when sales drop, you do need to increase your marketing outreach. So it's kind of like a weighted scale situation. So just be mindful of that. And then Lori, your advice.
It came from my grandma Modine, and she would always say, remember, this too shall pass. So
That's right. That's exactly right. And it's something you've weathered before. So I think it's not going to be what you think it is. The other thing that I think is important is that to know that response to a crisis, any crisis, is actually, there was a report done in 2009 after the Great Recession. And this was done for a church project on hope. And these were the 4 outcomes from this gentleman who had done the research, which I think is cool. Every generation is spoiled. And this is funny because I think each one of you can relate to this. It's that, do you remember your mom said, oh, I don't know if they can get through it. And then we'd say to our kids, I don't know if they can get through it. Every generation thinks that the next generation won't get through what's coming. And we always do, right? Family members are drawn closer together because they're forced to rely on each other, whether it be financial, emotional. It's like we saw when we went through the pandemic. Everybody was closer together. We felt that was happening. We're reminded of the importance of coming together, not only as family, but as a community. People are more bonded. We see these studies are just like so right on. And then our financial leaders are defined as human beings, which is important. It doesn't matter what policies are put in place. I mean, as much as what is the character of the person who's doing it? Are they caring for us as a community, as a nation, however that is, because I don't want to be political, but that's kind of what in history, it's like, who was it that made the policy, or was it the response to what the policy was? So I think that's great. So knowing that, I created a design, just a second, because we know it's kind of a return to spirituality. This is actually our white bouquet, white FlowerClick bouquet.
Ooh,
And
It's beautiful.
this kind of is into talking about the how it's hard to get some certain products as well. And on this, it's maybe you're not able to get all of your crosses or certain type of product in. And what I did is just take river cane and make this cross. I just used bind wire and bound 4 of these together, again with your cross piece, and then just took some twine, and this is, it's just that Oasis wire, the bark wire, and brought that up through, and in a container, 1 piece of palm, And then the rest is one bouquet, one of the FlowerClick white bouquets. So it's something that we want to make sure that you're able to do, not necessarily just for sympathy. You know, sometimes moms or grandmas are having a bad day, and this on a smaller scale would just be like, oh, that's so refreshing. That's so nice to have something like that. So that being said, let's see if I can get this back. Sorry. Oh, Lori, you quit sharing. Is that what you did?
Yes. So everyone could see that.
Really pretty.
It's beautiful. There you go. Let me remove your spotlight. There you go.
Okay. there we go.
Vonda, we have a question from Beth. She says, any advice from us about employees? We hired a lady who is 74 years old. She started out great, but now she needs a knee replacement and will be out 8 to 10 weeks, if not longer, right at the start of all the holidays.
Ouch.
Would you hire someone else, or would you ride it out and see what happens in the economy?
Well, Beth, as much as you continue to grow your business, I think you probably would be best to have a part-time person that you have in, because you and Dwayne are way too busy to be able to handle it all by yourself. So I would definitely find a part-time person. And then when this person comes back, then you might have 2 part-time people, which as business is growing, I don't think that you will see, you know, I'm not sure, right? But you're continuing to grow your business. Look back at 2019 and see what you were there. And did you have an extra person at that point?
Yeah, no, that's good advice. Oh, Janet wants to know if that what you just showed could be on her website. So Cammie, get ready.
Yeah,
Take a
this
picture.
always happens. And then they're going to want a tutorial on how Vonda made that.
And how you made it. No, it is a really pretty arrangement.
Beautiful.
We'll make you a deal, Janet. You come up with a name for it.
Yeah.
We can shoot it.
Here's a good question that Susie has, going back to our conversation about finding your niche and maybe doing local artists or whatever. She says, we are starting to use local artists, but we seem to be struggling with exactly how to pay them. Commission, percentage, do they rent for the space? Do you guys have anyone have any advice for her?
I think it's kind of up to her and see what's going on in the area. We used to do it years ago with an artist. I mean, it was like nice artwork that was expensive. And then we would just give a 20% commission. We didn't charge them for that because it helped with our decor.
Sure.
But in your case, I think, Susie, you're doing, you know, you're selling it for them. I don't know, maybe others could chat in with what percentage that they're thinking. Because 20% isn't enough if it's taking up your space there in the store.
Right.
Jen said that there is an art gallery next door to her, and they say she should charge 30% commission.
Okay, good to know.
And Lindsay said 20% paid on the 10th of each month.
Nice.
There we go. Love it. So I'm going to go through this few more slides. You guys keep watching and monitoring those questions if you would, please. But many of you know how passionate I am about profit. And if anybody has a situation that they really would like me to listen to what's going on and to help with that, there's a free 30-minute consultation. You just need to reach out to Katie at FlowerClick to book some time with me, because I'm happy to do that. When you see this and you're like, oh, here we're talking about maybe having to make some changes because of what's going on in the economy, and you're saying, so why would I want to be part of FlowerClick? And you maybe think that's counterintuitive, because for FlowerClick, it's a monthly fee. It's $295 a month. We're totally transparent with that. And what we do that can make a difference in you is we're that part-time employee who can help you with things in your shop. We take care of your website. Cammie and the team completely take care of that website. You know that things are priced correctly. You know, if you have that endless scroll on your website, or you're not sure what to put on there, we can help with that. We do the work for you. So it's definitely worth the money to be able to have somebody help you with that. It will help your employees because of the limited amount of products are on there. If you are having trouble getting employees, this really helps because it's easy for them to do. I just want you to look over your numbers from the couple previous years. If your numbers are going down, then you need to make sure you're making adjustments, because there is nobody better at pivoting and surviving this than a flower shop. You guys have this. It's like, what was your words, Lori?
Which time?
From grandma.
Oh, remember, this too shall pass.
Right there.
And she said it that way with her head, just like this. And so you'd believe her. But it's true. You go back to your second or third slide, all of those moments in our timeline of life, right? It passed. And then it comes again. So
and again with FlowerClick, you have to spend money to make money. Come back to what Ellie said on that one. But I just wanted to introduce you. This is the rest of our team. So we have all women team, strong. From, you see 6 of us here, and then we also have Denise and Leslie and Allie, who are an integral part of our team. This is one of the bouquets that we were saying, when one of those bouquets, you can make so many designs. Well, that many designs, say with another bouquet. You can see how it makes a huge difference in the different containers. And then Ellie, maybe do you want to just do a quick run through on our prep schools?
Sure. Yeah, prep school is our education pillar of FlowerClick. So we have sales prep school, which is intuitive sales training, flower prep school, which can take a delivery driver to a designer. That was always Vonda's goal with that, and we hit it. And then sympathy prep school, which is all focused on growing your sympathy business. So that could be a niche, possible niche. It's our most affordable course. So if you want to get involved with that, just shoot Katie an email and you can get instant access.
And Janet from McCandless gave us a shout out in the chat and said, train your sales team to sell what you have and have what you sell. FlowerClick has training and can help you enforce and train everyone to sell. She gave us a little shout out in the chat. So
thank you,
now's a
Janet.
good time to plug that.
Yes.
And then lastly, we've got Katie here, who is helpful in answering any question you have about FlowerClick. We appreciate you guys for sticking on to the very end, and we've prepared a very helpful PDF that's just 5 minutes with FlowerClick. So if you want the full rundown, we won't bother you. We'll give you the guide, and you can get the full breakdown of what we're all about. And so just email Katie at FlowerClick for that. Right, Katie?
Great. And I think that you're going to put my calendar link in the replay that's sent out.
Yes, I
So
will. They'll email with the replay and your calendar link, and you can book some time directly.
So, that's great. Well, like Ellie said, thanks to everyone for staying to the end. We are a group of business owners at FlowerClick who want to help. And, we are kind of a little bit of fun, right, Lori?
we are, and I'm just reading. Are you about to cry, Cammie?
I am. You're so sweet.
Reading all of our members supporting us. Did you talk about our podcast, Vonda?
Oh, I didn't.
Because they're talking about it.
Yeah.
So our podcast is called The Business and Pleasure of Flowers. And this week's episode was about the work-life balance, which was really good. We've had a lot of shout outs on that one, but if you haven't, go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify,
Yep.
wherever, and it's just The Business and Pleasure of Flowers, and you'll see Lori and I's face, so you'll know you're in the right place. So
And we are trying to grow it. So if you would love to rate us 5 stars and give us a review, we would be so thankful. And maybe we might even send you some merch.
maybe,
So,
yeah,
never
there you
know.
go.
Ooh, that's
I've had
what
a
we should
little
do. We
thing.
should do a drawing once a quarter.
yeah, there's so much to do, Lori.
No,
Get on your tab.
You should. I have a little thing to wrap us up and bring it full circle. Are you guys ready?
I'm
for this?
ready. I'm ready.
I am.
Here we go. Little Matthew Wilder. Here you go.
Nope, it's not playing.
Yeah. Oh.
Got it.
Now that will live in everyone's head too, just like it's been living in ours, right?
Love it.
All right.
All
You
right.
guys have an awesome rest of the day and reach out if you need anything.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Can't wait to
Bye.
talk to you.